I give instructions to make sure that if there are any Korean golfers who do not replace the birds on the course, we get them out.
Today we have two workshop sessions, and originally planned for two separate sessions, but we've decided to let them run one after another. And the first session is on golf tourism, and to share us about this subject, we have none other than our friends from the Malaysian Golf Tourism Association, founder member Mr. Chow Wei Heng, and the executive director of the MGTA, Mr.
The subscription fee on Rumah Putra has been 100 ringgit for the past 10 years. Every time during the AGM, EGM, and there have been many proposals by the council to raise the subscription fee, always has been shut down. And every year, for the last 4 years, the club has been running deficit. Because the club these days are facing two challenges. One thing, costs keep on rising. You have labor costs going up, fertilizer costs going up, everything. The cost of maintaining a golf course with some good playable condition keep on rising. And the other thing is the revenue base of most clubs in Malaysia, which are dependent essentially on members, is also not, it's very difficult to increase the revenue base. Because the members, like me for example, I keep my side. I don't want the subscription to raise. I'm very happy just to pay 100 ringgit. And Rumah Putra is a walking course. We have 118 that we walk. That means literally, I can, if I bring my own water, I don't go to the golfers lounge, just play $100 a month and play there every day for. I do feel that to some degree, the golf industry here in Malaysia, especially the club level, are not really golf tourism friendly. Because for too long, the mentality of the club owners and the club managers, including the two clubs that I work in Genting, that we own, Rumah Keluarga and Rumah Keluarga, really focus too much on the members, and maybe once in a while on the tournament. That they really don't understand the need of the golf tourism and the golf tourists. I like to actually go to, let's say, places in Indonesia, you go to China, you go to Thailand, whereby the club by nature, because of how the industry basically started, always depend. Malaysia is the only place you can find cow grass golf. I mean, that is something that you cannot find. You go to all the new courses in China, everything is very immaculate. When you come to a cow grass course, that is also a challenge, because you really have to go up there and understand it's a very different turf. And of course, some of the older courses, you have all the rain trees at the side. And you ever played courses like that and they all get lost inside, it's another challenge. I mean, these are the kind of things that you have to go out there and learn how to go and market and the courses, how to also to some degree build up some interesting itinerary for our.
We mustn't forget the fact that they are visitors. We want them to feel at home, and part of feeling at home is being made to feel at home in that club, and that does rely to some extent on the members welcoming them when they come into the club. They're welcomed not as people who are getting special treatment, but people who are friends, and this is one of my other expressions, they come as a guest but they leave as a friend. They meet new people. So we must integrate. By doing so, we raise the standard both for our own members of those clubs. I'm telling a little bit, and I keep repeating it, but it's absolutely vital to me that everybody has to work together. Chow mentioned, and it was mentioned yesterday, this undercutting of prices that goes on. It doesn't produce better golf courses. It doesn't produce better results for the bottom line of all the clubs. And all the clubs should be working together.
Two things I know about certainly Europeans. I have never, ever, in 20 years, heard a group of golfers tell me they're looking forward to travelling to play the cheapest courses they can find in any country. I have never heard them come back from a trip boasting about having played the 5 cheapest courses in the country. All they want to talk about are are their experiences, are about the signature holes, are about the special things that you showed on that video yesterday in the first 5 minutes. I strongly recommend that when you have your meetings, price is not on the agenda, because it's not on their agenda, and yet it does dominate your thinking. I would also suggest that you talk to people who were here in 2009, 3 years ago, and you say to them, what do you remember most about your trip? They will not mention price. The things they liked, you reinforce. The things they didn't like, you put right. You've already got access to the information. You've already got access to the people. It should be fairly straightforward to get the things out there that you need to get out there. But I do strongly recommend that you lose the focus that you currently have, and I've had for 3 days, on price. Because for them, it's
The subject this time is how to operate an efficient and cost-effective club operation. And we're going to have once again distinguished speaker Bill Sanderson, and this session will be moderated by Encik Muhammad Rom Muslim. With that, I'd like to invite both of them to take their seats.
The
on
number
stage.
one rule I give to every manager I ever work with is to remember that with every pair of hands you recruit, a brain comes free. So I don't care what your job is, I don't care where you work, I know you've got a contribution to make that is greater than just what you've been given in your job description. I think it's the job of the manager to help you contribute. And there are people around you who can do all sorts of things. Okay, I've been in the marketing business for nearly 25 years. I understand marketing. When it comes to social media, Facebook, Twitter, blogging, video blogging, and webinars, I am not as good as these guys who are coming along now, and they are superb with the technology. They understand it in a way that I cannot. I understand what I want to achieve, but to get the best out of it, I need specialist PR, specialist video people. Part of my skills will be to pull in the people I need as I need them to contribute to the performance I want to deliver. So if we were talking about working with Koreans, for example, I wouldn't dream of putting together a package that would help Koreans get the best experience they can. I want a specialist who understands Koreans, who understands what Koreans want. If in my club I want to attract young people, I'm not going to ask this guy what young people want. Okay? He's had his young day, and his young day has come and is gone, and left its mark. The word is brand. We have if you don't know, we have in the front row here our distinguished senior officers of the organisation, one of whom has a very distinguished military career. If I was to ask you what you expected to meet when you met a general or an admiral or anyone with high military rank, even if you'd never met one before, you'd know what to expect. Because there's a brand, there's an image. If I asked you to imagine what it would be like to have a conversation with a solicitor or a lawyer, even if you've never met one before, you've already got a picture in your head of what it would be like. If I asked you to meet a professor of archaeology, although you've never met one before, you're already anticipating what kind of a person they're going to be. This is what we do. So for you people up in the corner, you're at the part of your life where you're about to create your brand. Who are you? Who do you want to be? How do you want people to talk about you? This is simply, it's not a jargon word, it's not a marketing word. This is simply a word that says, what do people say about you when you're not there? So for example, when I go back to the UK, and I fly back tonight, and people will say to me, where have you been? I say, Malaysia. And they'll say, what
is Malaysia like? This is your brand. How I talk about you is your brand. Just a few moments ago, Chris was mentioning Wentworth. He was mentioning St Andrews, Carnoustie, which is where I come from. Those places have a brand image to all golfers. The question for you as golf club managers is the message consistent? And is the message you want it to be? Your job is to develop a consistent message and to make that message the one that has the highest impact with your customers, golfers, visitors, and employees. If you want to, any of you up in the corner, become the best you can be at whatever you choose to be, listen to this bit. The reason the top players are so good is certainly not luck. It's not that they have a gift for swinging the putter, and it's not that they were born with some divine ability to read every slope and nuance on every green. So that's what it's not. What is it? It is the countless hours they spend on the practice greens. The hours they spend researching, learning, listening, and developing a plan, and developing the skills that allow them to read the greens and create more efficiency when they need to get out there in the tournament. The best putters do the same things. They've developed a system to give them the best chance of delivering what they want on every green. Now you might think I've just picked a special part. So I'm only going to turn one page. And what do I read that the champions do, that the very best out there do? Because if they got there, and if they are the best, it might be worth listening to them. It might be they've got something valuable to say to you. And what do they say? The best golfers and putters in the world run a process. This means they go through a specific routine to identify what they need to know about each putt. In exactly the same way, if I have a visitor coming to me, or someone has a complaint, or I need to deal with a situation, I need a process. If one of my members is upset, if I've got a visitor who's angry, this is not the time to start working out how I should deal with it. The how has already been done. I should already know how. I should already have my process. I should put it into place immediately when I need it, and it's only there because I practiced it. Let's turn to the third page. With a process in mind, it's important to be able to practice in a way that best prepares you for the course. A drill for this is, and it gives a drill. The word drill, I believe, comes from the military, because the military have understood for centuries that when faced with the heat of battle, their men, and now women, now need to be prepared for what to do while under pressure. Question. Golf club managers. In the last 5 days, how many hours have you allocated to you and your team to practice drills to make you better?
The factors affecting at that point of time is different from what I'm seeing.
Absolutely.
You are seeing this right in front.
That's right. And it has to be made